What is going on, everyone? My name is BoIt, and I'm back with some more Age of Titans action. This is the finals of my 1,000 subscriber special one-day tournament. It's between Swedish Chef and Count Von Count. The map is Anatolia. Spawning in the top of the map in the blue color, playing as Hades, is the only Swedish Chef. The red player today is Count Von Count on Oranos. Most players had to play some tough games to get into the finals. Swedish Chef had to go through Adfang and I think some other good player. And Count Von Count had to go through Hells and possibly Brickhead. I think they might veto this map. If you have one veto around let me go into here, and let me go to here, and let me go to here. Yes, yes, you can. A round. Having a bit of discussion as to whether he should veto it. It's just not how the veto is supposed to work. It's supposed to be like, I need to veto this thing because of whatever. And it's okay. Looks like they're going to play it out, so that's fine. I'm happy with that. It means that what you use a veto for, generally speaking, is a map which is ridiculously unfair. For example, a Thor vs Zeus on Mediterranean, or a map screw where there's literally nothing. Like you don't see anything in the first minute. So that's what I made the veto rule for, and it looks like Count Von Count's actually okay with this map. It's not the best Oranos versus Greek map, but it's not the worst, especially because Swedish Chef's sitting on Hades, who doesn't have that much of an advantage over Oranos. It's more the Zeus and the Zeus Centaurs and the Zeus sort of style of play, which is really strong at the current state of the game. We see the docks going up on both sides of the map. This map is extremely booming in terms of the start of the game because you have two sides of the water. Fish count, on average, is about like 10 each side for each player. Not like 9, so probably 18 fish each side, each player. So you get out with like 18 fishing ships if you boom up both sides. Both players boom up both sides. So that's an incredible income, and especially because of the shooting docks and the fact you can't fight on each side without getting hit by a shooting dock. You can't attack. It's much more of a efficient way to play the game is to not actually fight the water. You can actually take the land, grab those early town centers in the middle of the map. They're very close to each other, so the player who gets this map control is probably going to win the game. So it's going to be interesting to see who can manage to do that. But that being said, there are the two starting 3,000 gold mines in the base of Anatolia, so both players have a ability and option to sit back and then push out once their last gold mine is depleting, and then they can secure that large gold mine and possibly even the town center as well. If Count Von Count secures this town center, that secures this gold mine. If Swedish Chef secures this town center, that secures that gold mine. So I think in terms of the town center priority, this one isn't that good, whereas this one is perfect. This is the one you really want. And I feel, because of the layout of this forest, it's a little bit in the favor of Swedish Chef, this map. So we'll see if that plays out in any way, shape, or form in this game. The map layout, generally speaking, it does. It's a very important part, and we'll see if Count Von Count can outplay his opponent in a fashion in order to take this map control and the game. I'm interested to see whether Count Von Count is going to do a 4:30 rush. Looks like he's getting his temple up. He's got this last villager coming out. It's going to be a bit later than 4:30. Looks like he did miss some villages. He's got the temple up. I don't know exactly what his resources are at the moment, but he's got 4 villages on wood. 4 villages on food, so he's definitely thinking about going there. He's now sending villagers over to the woods, so and he's going through Prometheus. So he's definitely doing this 4:30 rush, and Swedish Chef chucking up a couple of docks. So this is really good for Count Von Count, because Count Von Count is going to be fighting Swedish Chef on the one side of the map, and Swedish Chef hasn't moved over to this side of the map just yet. We do see Swedish Chef also has his temple up, so he's probably going to be aiming at 515-ish. If he's going to be advancing soon, if he has the resources, which it looks like he does because he's not producing another villager. And there we go, he's going through Aries. So both players picking up very aggressive classical gods and very water-orientated classical gods, so they're going to be fighting for this water. At least it seems like it. And we see the Oracles of Count on Count are getting ready to move in onto Swedish Chef's docks. And we see 435 going to come out, and the Valor's going to come onto that. I would have preferred to see the citizens sent over here to get that free hero thing. And we see that Count on Count might have that in range right there to get all of that. There we go. So really nice play by Count on Count, getting the most out of that in Valor. And we see the military barracks going down, so he's very committed to taking down these docks here. We see the 3 docks, but remember this is a Hades dock. It's no Zeus or Poseidon dock. What happens here is they have a bonus of, it looks like 400 hit points. So that's a big deal in terms of what he can do with that. So be really interested to see how that's going to play out into Swedish Chef's favor or not. It's definitely going to delay this attack here, and we're going to see that the Ajax and the Cyclops are going to be heading over as well. I think the Ajax and the Cyclops are actually strong enough to deal with these oracles here if he plays it correctly and utilizes stuff. He's got the Trim as well, picking off oracles, and there's no Bareems of Count on Count yet. And we see Pestilence going down, and he's actually managed to Pestilence the entire docks, temple, and military barracks. So it's very good for for Swedish Chef now. Swedish Chef actually losing a couple of triremes though for free. He's doing a bit of damage to these Bareems though, because they're taking a lot of tower hits from the docks. If you actually move them back and forth, then they don't actually take any damage whatsoever. And we see this continuing aggression onto this dock. Really wants to pick it off. If that was a Zeus dock, it would almost be dead. It's only got 126 hit points left, but you see with the Hades docks, it's got a little bit more time to play with against these sort of aggressive rushes. It's just why Hades is so good against rushes, and why people generally don't want to rush a Hades player. And we can see that playing out into Swedish Chef's favour definitely at this point in the game. Again, Count on Count has moved over onto this side of the map. He's got a couple of fishing ships. We do have a couple of fishing ships from Swedish Chef as well. So both players moving out correctly and dealing with stuff in the best way that they can. The Bareem is actually quite weak in terms of how it deals with other ships. It's got 5 damage to Dreams of 6 damage, and it has less pierce armor as well and less hit points. That's because it only costs 80 wood and 40 gold, so you can produce more of them. But when it comes down to it, the fact that there's 3 docks here to 2 docks here, you cannot outproduce with Bareems against Triremes. So looks like Count on Count's going to have to give up this side of the map. It is going up to be close to the 7-minute 30 mark, so our second town center for either Swedish Chef or Count on Count would not be the wrong decision at this point in the game, especially with all those villages on wood and gold and the food income from fishing ships. You can see that Swedish Chef has to retreat out now because the docks actually do too much damage. The Cyclops is taking a bit of a beating as well, but still got 200 hit points left to come back and deal with this dock. And if he keeps on microing that back and forth, I don't think he's going to be able to pick it off. It'd be better off to send that off to a different position, but he's actually going to attempt to do some damage to one of those Bareems, and he knows it's kind of useless now. It's not really. He could have held on to it and used it in a different way, shape or form, like maybe raiding or something. You can see that Ajax is just trying to be a pain now. He's a citizen of Count on Count's actually chasing the Ajax around. It's definitely not strong enough to pick off that citizen, but he's probably just going to sacrifice that and then rebuild it. It's not useful with 2 HP. He's really not useful with 2 HP. Often what I see really like the best Zeus players do and the best Greek players do is they'll see their heroes on low HP and then they'll just send them off to do some sort of crazy mission, and it'll end up dying, and it'll just produce another one and get the full HP back before an important battle. I saw AOM King doing it, and I saw Magyar doing it. Both play like they just randomly lost a low HP, not like a fully low HP, like 2 HP. Yeah, they probably just deleted really, but like just before a really big fight, they do something. Then we go the shockwaves coming in. So this is where the really strong point of Oranos comes out. This shockwave allows him to win a fight, and you can see he managed to pick off 2 or 3 Chiremes right there for free, and this docs doesn't actually have anything in it. So unfortunately for Swedish Chef, he doesn't actually have the defender's advantage here, especially because there's so many docks so close to count on count. Swedish Chef now picking up the Ankh of Ra, which is going to give him 0.04 free favor per second, which means that he's going to be able to produce some more Cyclops if he so chooses to, or go to the Heroic Age, probably through Aphrodite, or less likely Apollo, but probably Aphrodite for the curse, and produce some Nemean Lions. You can see now, if this is weird, count on count simply just going to be running back and forth his Bareems. He managed to force Swedish Chef to produce a lot of Shreem, so now count on count can transition to land much more smoothly than Swedish Chef. So Count's going to be able to pick up this town center with map control of land, and Swedish Chef's going to be able to probably going to fall behind in terms of stuff. He's going to fall behind in terms of land, and Count still being able to produce a bunch of Bareems. Sentinel God Power going down in the hometown center of Swedish Chef, so that's a really big thing for Swedish Chef. Means that no Sentinel is going to be able to come on this location here, protect this town center, and this forward gold mine of Swedish Chef is going to come under harassment now, and that gold mine there is very poorly protected. I think watchtowers should be researched now, and this fight now coming in again, the dock helps so much in terms of the damage it does onto the triremes. So count with the defender's advantage here. He's just going to be able to pick off a bunch of these and force Swedish Chef to either stop producing these and deal with this, or continue to push through here and produce too many units and lose an equal amount of villagers to fishing ships, which is not ideal. So Count's now got his second town center, as well as Swedish Chef both chose to get their back town centers because they weren't confident in getting the forward one. I really think Swedish Chef should have picked up the forward one though, because it's such a good position, and map positioning and everything is so important in this game, as everybody should know. And again, that Ajax with the 2 HP is managing to take use, is getting the blanket of Empress Zoe, which gives 5 building crush armor, which means that siege weapons are not going to be useful. Not going to be very useful against Hades, because one, he has 400 extra HP. Well, it's not 400, it's like some percent. I don't actually know. It's 25% extra HP. And there we go, the Nemean Lions coming out now, curse being used to prevent too many villagers dying, and he's going to be able to produce a bunch of these stables now going down outside of his base. And this Nemean Lion's going to pick off a bunch of these Terma. They're not going to be able to do enough damage to that, and he's going to retreat that using the special power, and then retreating it. Really nice play by Swedish Chef. Count's going to just try and pick off some of these villages now, because they're very much so out of position. He's not going to be able to pick them off, but he's going to be able to delay these forward stables from going up. Maybe even pick off one of these Toxitos or 2. Those villages are quite low on HP, but Count's going to have to retreat out of here. He's going for this town center now, and if he can't defend it, which it looks like he can, he's got a bit of an advantage. This means that Count's just going to grab this town center. It's going to be good. He's going to be happy with it. I'm sure that's going to be good. If he gets it, he's going to produce a bunch more things. But it looks like Swedish Chef's moving in here. This town center might not be able to go up. I think Shockwave's available. Is Shockwave available? No, Shockwave is on cooldown. Villager does get attacked, is sent away from this town center and has not ulted that. I would love to see him move a couple of villagers back onto that town center, but it looks like he's not going to get this location. And that's probably, unfortunately, like this advantage that Count had has been swindled just due to him being, I don't know what the word is, careless. He probably should have sent 1 or 2 citizens instead of just the 1. Definitely would have had that town center up, would have forced Swedish Chef back. It looks like Count's picking up a bunch of those Toxitos with those hero Terma now picking off the Nemean Lions. They do a fair amount of damage, even though they are quite weak. Looks like he's sort of focus firing a little bit weirdly. However, this Achilles now going to be able to pick up a hero citizen. A big win for him if he can manage to do that. Looks like Count Count's not really microing that citizen very well. He's actually just going to be sacrificing him. Count now chucking up the sentry tower in order to protect his only gold mine. If actually, well, there's a gold mine there. If he gets this location again, if he had that town center, this push would not have been happening. Looks like Swedish Chef going for this town center. Probably not the right choice. Probably this town center would have been better. Again, it's like sort of where the point of contention is. He has this town center, he has a tower fire onto this location here. With these watchtowers now going up, we can see again he's only Count being very greedy. I feel in terms of getting these buildings up, only sending one or two of those citizens instead of a bunch of them. It looks like Count's actually going to lose right here because he's not going to be able to win this fight. He's got so many cavalry coming in to deal with these medium term, and that Achilles taking so much of that damage. Then looks like this fight in this game is very much done. I don't see any other gold mines for Count to get. Swedish Chef got his own gold mine. He's going to be able to get that town center there as well. He's going to be able to get all of these villagers to die, and Count does decide to tap out and say GG. Really well played by Swedish Chef. However, I feel Count could have held if he was less greedy with that town center. If he sent 2 villagers instead of 1, would have had that up, forced Swedish Chef back, at least got him a little bit more time in order to protect from this push. We'll move on to the next game though. Thanks for watching. This is the finals. Continue to watch this. It's going to be real good. My name's BoIt. See you guys next time.